The Senior Bowl had some of the top cornerbacks in this year's draft class participate, and we got to see some big risers. We've talked about a few of them, but one guy who really boosted their draft stock was Boston College cornerback Elijahjones, a guy who has a lot of the tools you look for in a corner. He has great size, great production. Where does he ultimately get selected in the 2024 NFL Draft? That is what we will be talking about in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and let me know which players you guys want to see me talk about in the next video. And without further ado, let's take a closer look at Elijahjones. In 2022, Jones really didn't show too much for Boston College. He was good, but his numbers weren't very great in the slightest. He allowed 5 touchdowns and 419 yards on the season, and there were some concerns with his game. But in 2023, he turned things around. He only allowed 1 touchdown on the year and 194 yards. The production improved drastically, and he showed some really solid stuff at the Senior Bowl, had a solid showing at the NFL Draft Combine. Many people think he could sneak into day 2 consideration. One thing I am mesmerized with when it comes to Elijahjones is his size. He's everything you look for in terms of his size on the boundary. He is 6'1", 185 pounds, which that in and of itself is pretty good, but when you mix in his length, I think he's one of the most intriguing players here. He has a 76.5-inch wingspan, and I love the frame that Elijahjones plays with. Ball production is another thing that I really like about Jones. Over the last 2 seasons, he has put up 7 interceptions and 17 pass deflections. He has a nose for the football. He has good recovery speed, and he seems to always be there to break passes up when you need it. Jones is really smart as well. He has fantastic instincts. Whether that be in man coverage or in zone, I think he's a rather smart corner. He has great instincts, he sniffs plays out extremely well, he closes quickly, and I love that about him. I think he's a pretty versatile player as a result of this. He also moves extremely well. Jones is an older prospect, but he has a lot of tools. With that being said, I think he has some concerns, particularly in his speed. I know a lot of people are going to point to his 4.44 speed, which was a very nice time, but his long speed down the field is not that. He got beat down the field a few times just because he didn't have the range to stick with him for a long time. Now in the short to intermediate passes, he does a really good job of moving his hips, he's fluid, and I love that, but his long range speed is something that does concern me. On top of that, I want to see him be a bit more physical at times. At times he's overly physical on routes, and on other times he's not physical at all. I would rather it be the former, but there were times where I was really worried about what he could do because he just wasn't super strong. Another area in which I think his lack of strength shows is when tackling. He has far too many missed tackles to my liking, and he doesn't do a great job of coming downhill and defending the run. I have questions about how his strength is going to translate to the NFL level. I do like Elijahjones. He has been a steady riser for me through this pre-draft process because of the instincts and the ball skills. His Combine and Senior Bowl showings were also very promising, and I think he can provide some nice juice at the NFL level. Yeah, he's 24 years old, but he is my number 20 corner in the draft class. The lack of speed and physicality does hurt him a little bit, but I do think he can improve that at the next level in terms of if he gets into the right scheme. I think Elijahjones could be a really nice corner in the NFL. Due to his lack of speed, I think Elijahjones is tailor-made for a heavy zone coverage scheme. That's where he thrived at Boston College, and I truly think that's where his best traits are. So that's where I want to see Jones play in the NFL. He's got the instincts, he's got the quick reaction time, and the ball skills to be a very valuable zone coverage guy. Jones reminds me a lot of Sean Murphy Bunting. Bunting is a good cornerback in the league who's bounced around a little bit the last few years, but he has solid size, he's smart, and he's very good in zone coverage. Very similarly to Elijahjones. I think Jones can have a very similar type of role and impact in the NFL, and that he's going to be a valuable piece in the league. Elijahjones excels in zone coverage. He has some really nice moments, ball skills, and is a very smart player as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he's taken a little bit earlier than we expect due to those traits, but ultimately, I believe Elijahjones will be a 4th round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.